And what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another beautiful Sunday morning in Northeast Ohio. And it's Sunday morning, 10:30. That can only mean one thing. It's time to step back and get in the driver's seat with the Boomhauer Bandit himself, the number 43 car, Corey Renforth, and a special guest today. We'll let you introduce him in just a moment, Corey. But no race for you last night.
No race for me.
What took place?
They went back to Sharon. A few cautions took place, but also some pretty good racing by them guys once they got into the rhythm of things. Luke Mulchak won it. Teddy Williams second. Third was Jake Eakin, just
from last week. Yeah.
And fourth was Jerry Langley, and fifth was Mark Sukon. So
wow,
that was the top five there.
What struck you from last night's race? I mean, obviously a different track. Who impressed you? What impressed you, and why?
It's a faster track. The Greylacs show up there. They're always hard to beat. So the fact that they're out of the top five is means there's five guys that did some pretty good driving to keep them out of there because they're always strong there. They're right there in Hubbard, so it's like their home track pretty much. So yeah, it's. I missed the last half of it because Jared Thompson, who's also part of your mom's favorite racing team, that's the conglomerate between me and him. He had a flat tire, they told me. So I did a fat boy sprint out to my truck and grabbed a tire and was running back there, but he had a little more to cut tire. So I missed the last half of the race trying to help him out. But the little part I saw it was pretty good. It was, like I said, other than a few cautions there, they got that under control, and it seemed like everybody just said it was kind of slick. It was dry. Yeah. But, there's four classes. You have 410 sprint cars and two different classes of modifieds, and then the dwarf cars, and they were the next to last feature. So I imagine that track was pretty dry by the time they got out there for that feature. And if it's really wet, it's slippery. If it's dry, it's slippery. You might as well be ice.
Wow.
So there's like I said, there's that middle ground where it's moist, where it's perfect. But dries, you wouldn't think, like the normal person doesn't think oh, it's dry. How's it slippery? Yeah, it's slippery in all hell. It's probably actually slipperier than when it's just wet, right? It can be anyway.
Was there weather last night?
Man, there was like 5 raindrops, I think.
Really?
Like they put a delay on. I was like, for what? I felt like 2 drops hit my arm. I was like, and they're like, rain delay. I'm like, when they waited like 5 minutes, and they're like, all right, go back out. Is that
a scenario kind of like in baseball where they look at the radar and whatever's coming, they just want to protect?
Yeah, they do try to get ahead of it because you don't want – sprint cars were on track at that time. These are 900 horsepower, 900-pound cars. One of them goes sailing in a wall at full speed, you've got issues. So, yeah, you kind of want to be ahead of it.
Yeah.
Those guys are probably, turning 140, 150 mile an hour.
At least 120.
Yeah, so they can hit a wall pretty hard. If it starts raining, it gets real slippery out there.
So is it better to err on the side of caution in that perspective? I don't know if asking you is the right answer, but because you're the Boomhauer Bandit after all.
Caution's not really my thing. I kind of just go everything with reckless abandon. But that's when it's my own life on the line, though. Generally don't put other people's lives on the line. So I would, if from a track operation standpoint, you kind of have to. Otherwise, I don't know how you get insurance. Because they'd be like, oh, this guy's running track? Yeah, no thanks. You're going to have to find a different insurance company. But, yeah, it's probably, like I said, especially the higher the speeds them cars are turning, you definitely want to. Their sprint cars seem to be a pretty safe car, but it's just ridiculously fast. And
a lot of money wrapped up.
Yeah.
Way more.
Yeah, I think that would be more the concern of the drivers. Like, you guys didn't shut this down. It just cost me like $60,000. You turkeys. You'd have to get an escort out of the track to make it out alive because 3 guys wrecked their trucks, wrecked their cars, and they're coming for you. You better get police to get you out of here.
I saw one racer in particular was very, very peeved, to say the least. I saw a picture on Ryan's mom's Facebook about Ryan was just sitting at the
Oh,
table like
well, they
this,
they got rained out.
mad.
So, yeah, he was not happy about
They
that.
got
He
a lot
was-
of rain.
Yeah, he was peeved. I mean, that's something that like all athletes kind of deal with is you get yourself mentally prepared and physically prepared, and
Well, yeah, you play baseball, so that get rained out, and you're getting yourself pumped up for the game today,
yeah,
and then
and then it doesn't
a
happen.
storm comes rolling through that maybe you didn't anticipate. So
Yeah.
now you're like, oh, I did a lot of stuff. Like mentally, you got yourself in a spot. Now
Yeah.
it just rained on your parade.
And that's one of the things I want to. We officially have to introduce our guest today, a guy that you've been waiting a long time to sit and pick his brain because of who he is and where he finishes typically
Yeah.
ahead of you. You said you forgot your notebook today
Yeah,
because you're a little
you
bummed.
gotta try to remember what you tell me.
Well, the nice thing is you can go back and watch this. So ask
I'll
all the
keep-
questions
I'll
you
keep
want.
watching. Like, all right.
Check.
The mainly thing of big place, hold on the steering wheel. It'll probably be that.
That's number one.
That's what everybody's been going over recently.
So Steve Mix, the number 85 car, joins us here in the G. Berwick Farm Studios. Steve, welcome to East Palestine. Welcome
Mix
to the show.
Jr.
Steve Mix Jr.
Senior's a very important guy. We love. He called in and give us some crap last week. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
he wants to rough me up. He wants me to move up so he can
Yeah.
rough me up. I told him it's not good enough doing it in the pits after races.
Yeah, we tend to have a good time after the race.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love stopping by and just getting verbally abused by you guys a little bit. I like it.
Steve, talk to us. Let everybody know kind of how you got into the racing scene, where you're from, and kind of how you got your start.
Yeah. Thanks first for having me.
Certainly.
We got started. My dad bought a car in 06, I believe, 04, somewhere in there. And I started going and helping him out. Started reading the books, read anything that had to do anything with dirt track racing, trying to get a handle on what we needed to be doing. About his third year, he ended up winning the championship in his class. So then I thought, well, I need to try this.
Challenge the old man.
Well, he got in his car and did practice a couple times, and I ended up finding a good deal on a car. The current car I have, I bought it in 07, 08. Did all right first 3 years. I didn't get a feature win until 2011. So that was a lot of seat time
Give me
in
hope.
between.
I was gonna say it's 3 years or so. Corey,
Yeah.
you have some hope there.
Yeah.
Keep the faith.
I mean, hopefully everybody in my family just heard what you said so they can be like, oh, this guy's dominating.
Yeah,
and
I'll
it took
help,
him.
I'll help you out there.
Yeah. I'll put you in the family text and you like back off of him, guys. He's doing okay.
Yeah, I got your back.
They don't care.
But yeah, put a lot of seat time in, a lot of adjustments, getting a handle on what the car needed to be doing. My work schedule, the first 3 years, we put a lot of time into it. I tried to be at every race, and my work schedule sometimes doesn't let that happen.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a full-time fireman for the city of Salem.
Unreal.
So I work a 24-hour shift, and I'm off 48 hours, and it falls on Saturdays. So we started this season and didn't know we were going to have the success we had right out of the gate.
Right.
And talked it over with my wife. I said, this is probably my best chance to get a championship this year. I mean, that's all the ultimate goal of this season.
Mm-hmm.
Winning races is, winning them battles helps
do
out
that.
in the end.
Yeah.
So we talked it over. She was supportive of it, and she's given up her summer to go racing. So
So it really is a family thing. I mean, obviously, we talk about your dad. He calls into the show. It's one of those things where it is a family thing. Everybody's kind of making their own little sacrifice for the greater good, so to speak.
Oh, absolutely. The whole family. My two daughters still living at home. My stepson come over and, he come to a race. So the support of the family, and I enjoyed to see them enjoy it.
Right.
Well, shout out to your niece. She had a YSN interview on Wednesday that came
Yes.
out, I think, the United Volleyball.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
No kidding.
I was giving her heck about that. I was like, oh, you say enough? She's like, no, I don't even want to talk about it.
So championship runs in the family. It's one of those things. I mean, sports are very important, obviously, here at YSN. And when we got into motorsports, Corey kind of said, "Hey, we'll do whatever we have to do."
What happened was he put a post on Facebook, said like it had like a NASCAR hood and it said it had a YSN logo on there. I go, well, I sure ain't no damn NASCAR driver, and I go, but it's a start. You can use my car as a launching pad to that NASCAR.
That's what we're looking to do, and I think the biggest thing is getting a better understanding. You know, I have a lot of friends from high school and grade school that did, you know, BMX and the dirt bikes and all that stuff down in Negley. But motocross always kind of, you know, was exciting for me. And now you have what you guys do, which I'm still learning literally every week. So just educating people on, you know, where the races are, who's involved, and, you know, what the championships look like, you know, how it changes from week to week. But most of all, letting people understand that it's a competitive field, but it's a family. Steve, talk about, you know, the family aspect of when you're suiting up on a Saturday night, you know, what you're feeling, what you're going through, and, you know, kind of what your mentality is.
Yeah. I mean, I've been doing this a long time. So I don't get real pumped up before a race. I mean, the big races, yeah, I'll think, you know, try to be patient. You got to get yourself up there. When you win a race up at Goods Raceway, you can't start no better than 7th the next week. So I got that to think about and try to go through my mind the moves I want to make. And generally, when I get in the car starting to feature, I can feel by the feel of my foot and in the seat of my pants, I can tell if we're going to have a good evening. And
Corey feels the seat of his pants all the time, but it's not the same way, I'm guessing.
You mixed feel for Phil's. Phil the seat.
Phil's the seat of your pants, yeah. No, but yeah, it's just, and the family there, you know, just makes it all more sweeter.
You've won your share of checkered flags.
His share is one everybody's share.
I mean, when you won your first one, can you remember the feeling that was kind of percolating in you?
Oh, yeah. I'll never forget it. Racing against Ted Williams, he pretty much owns that track. He's won countless features, and to race against him and a lot of the other veterans, his brother Art, the Graylicks, they won a lot of races there, like they have won at Sharon Speedway. But to get a win in that company I was speechless. And
well, you even won recently, the last one where I finished second. You said you were pretty pumped and you shut the car off on that.
Yeah,
I almost rear-ended you because of that.
That was a mid-season championship, and I've never won one of those. It's
you said
the race I won.
You said you was pretty excited.
Yeah, if I won 2 races out of the year, it'd be the mid-season championship and the season championship.
No, I was so close. Everybody thought maybe I was like, when I missed that gear on that final restart, that just put me. I was like, man, I don't know if I could have ran Steve down, but I took myself out of a chance to battle it out with you when I missed that gear, because it put everything behind like a lap.
Yeah, we had like 2 laps to go.
Yeah, it was green, white checker. Yeah. And it was just like I missed the gear. I could have passed Miranda in turn 1 and 2 there, and it'd been like, let's see what I can throw at Steve. Instead, I passed her in 1 and 2 the next lap. Yeah. It was just like I just had 3 and 4.
Yeah, I did some fist pumping on the backstretch, and then the car wasn't running anymore. I was like,
well, I think you shut it off in 1 and 2 because I almost rear-ended you because I was like, on the brakes.
I was like,
good.
I looked down and no lights are on. I was like, well, I must have. Luckily, I didn't break the switch, and it fired right back up. And
have you ever thought of putting love notes on the back of your car for Corey that he can read?
Nice try, kid.
While he's driving.
Yeah, nice try.
Follow me.
Follow me.
No. Corey beats himself up a lot. He's the progression he's made this year. He shouldn't be so hard on himself, but sometimes you have to be like that to make yourself better.
Don't want to get stagnant. Just try to keep going.
In all seriousness, we appreciate everything that you do, Steve, from a standpoint of what you do for a regular job, your profession, being a firefighter. Talk to me. Usually we ask the question of, from one sport to another, how does it compare? Talk about the adrenaline between what you do on a daily basis and running into a fire and literally firing up your engine on a Saturday night. Is there anything that kind of spills over? Any comparison to those two?
Yeah, the adrenaline, yeah, definitely. I wouldn't say
the danger. Well, I guess the danger's there, but
the adrenaline in racing it's not as high as going into a burning building.
Yeah.
And worrying about your crew and worrying about your personnel. I mean, it's comparable, but not comparable.
Different levels.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, it's like we were talking about earlier. I kind of do stuff when it's just me on the line. I'm a little more wild and crazy, but like you said, you got a crew, you got a team.
Yeah.
They're on the line too.
Yeah, we got to take care of each other and the public. So
you tend to be more like, okay, what's everybody else doing? Am I taking care of everybody else? But when you get out in that car by yourself, you're like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's
it's all on you. You're an individual and I want to be a respected racer. I want to race people the way that they race me. And
I'd say it's always been clean as far as I
Yeah,
see. I just
absolutely.
try to keep it clean. Like,
yeah. And I mean, last week, Mark Sukian and we had a heck of a heat race.
yeah.
And coming to the checkered flag, we rubbed a little bit, and I didn't like that. It was all me. And he come right over and said what a heck of a race it was. I apologized to him. He's like, "Oh, I know you didn't mean it." And it was a drag race to the checkered flag, and he got me. He ran a heck of a race. So
Yeah, that white flag will make you do things you probably wouldn't. Like, I've mentioned that before too. I was like, man, that white flag comes out, I'll try a little harder. You might get something from me you never seen, but like I said, hopefully not dirty move, but like I'm just gonna push it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like
the white flag might look clean, but it's the dirtiest one they have.
Yeah,
right?
it probably is. Yeah, because it just if you're within a shot to win it, you're going to take that shot. And that's kind of like that first week when Brandon was throwing everything at you he possibly could. I mean, I was just watching it from third place, being like, okay, he's not happy, but it was all clean.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's guys, you can race side by side like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're one of them. I know I can race you that way. The Sukans,
they tend to get hit a lot for people that race. Everybody's so clean.
they got
Like,
fast cars.
Yeah, everybody
And
seems to like really put the car to them.
Yeah, they're going through
even though they're
Taylor had bad luck going there. Glad he's okay from that deal. But yeah, the young kid, you mentioned Brandon Smith, them the young guys, Chase Nichols, Luke Molachek.
12. He's 12.
Yeah,
He's
12 or 14 years old. This
He
kid just
won the
won
Sharon
Sharon
race.
Speedway.
He'll
Shout out
be
to
on
him
September
because,
sometime.
I mean, that's a huge win in your career as far as Dwarf Car Race and an iconic track like Sharon Speedway.
Jake's never won that.
I've never won there.
Yeah. So, the list of guys that have been out there
the
trying
people,
to win it.
the people we beat, the Graylicks own the track. Teddy Williams, his dad, they've got wins there.
Yeah.
That's a huge win for him and his family.
Steve, talk about just a scenario of being the veteran now, the wily veteran, and being able to see these youngsters kind of pop into situations like you saw last night. Do you catch yourself giving them advice? Do they come to you? How does that work?
None of them come for advice, but I encourage.
Yeah.
We'll see Luke and his dad at the race, and Chase Nichols. I told him a couple times, he's doing a great job. He's got a 600cc motor, and
Yeah, he can make it
he
work.
give me a run for my money.
Yeah.
Races clean, and I like to encourage them, talk to them, tell them that they're doing a good job and keep it up, because they're the future of the sport.
All right, Corey, it's your time.
I don't even
Pick
know.
the brain.
Oh, man. Every question I have is like a technical thing here.
That's okay. I think there's some
So,
legitimacy to that.
recently this year, the improvement has come from me going into the turns. So I tried to pick spots where to let out. Like on the front stretch, it's not before the flag stand. Don't let out before the flag stand.
No.
and then so I turn into one, and then half throttle through the apex there till you get about to that opening where there's like the opening in turn 2, and then go full throttle out of there. Now, does that seem okay to you? Is there an adjustment that should be made there?
I tend to drive my car in as deep as it wants to start setting itself.
Okay. So when you feel that pitch to the right.
When you feel that pitch, you're gonna let off the throttle.
And
you got to, like I said, all the feel.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm doing that too early.
The feel and the seat of your pants tells you what the car is gonna do. And
because that's how I've been doing it, and it has improved my speed, like you said, from last year. It has improved it.
Yeah.
But there's still room there, of course,
and
obviously.
A lot of what I do too is there's other features. You got the mod lights, the Chargers. I try to watch those and watch the top 3 cars, what they're doing to their car. I mean, we can't see much down 1 and 2 where we're at, but coming into 3, you can watch them cars and see how they're reacting to how they're driving and their throttle response. And you can learn from that. And I think to myself, that's what my car needs to be doing. And then I go to the scale. I will scale the car. We make adjustments. My dad and I, we talk a lot about adjustments. 99% of the time, I'm adjusting my car in between the heat race and the feature. I can't leave it alone.
I'm
trying to be faster
since I bought it.
every time I go out there.
Like, is that what it?
Yeah, little tweaks here and there.
I made 0 adjustments since I bought it on the tip still.
Yeah,
there might be a difference here.
But I mean, like I said, I've been doing it a long time. On a good race, like I said, you feel the seat of your pants that you know that this car is hooked up, and you're going to have a good night. So I know what that feels like, and I try to replicate it. I don't hit it all the time. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a master at adjustments.
Seems to be doing pretty well.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm messing with it. This last race, my dad wasn't on board with the adjustment I was going with. It worked out. And like, well, I mean, we don't agree 100%
whatever
of the time.
His adjustment he had was working
pretty good for him. We got his car
though.
Turned around, and it's coming on strong. Drew Haney, he's coming up in our class. We've been working with him a little bit. He's a good friend.
Yeah, he was having a good run last night. He was a little loose, he said.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That's one adjustment I've made. And okay, I know I can make myself sound like a big dumb stooge, like I don't change anything. That's because I kind of like where the car's at, and it seems to be fast. So I don't want to like screw everything up. Like I'm just so afraid to make adjustments and screw it up.
I gave you advice a week ago that you need to get scales.
Yeah, that scales.
You gotta get scales, scale the car, write it all down, measure your bars so that if something does, you get a wheel torn off, because it does happen.
Yeah, that's what my brother just had a garage built. So
where you had it.
I told him make sure that floor is nice and level.
Yeah,
so he put the scales over his house.
See, what's your favorite part of racing in general? What's the thing that keeps you coming back?
Oh, just we got a pretty good class of guys that race you clean. You know, the thrill of being out there and putting on a show for the crowd. I mean, the fans, without the fans, you know, we'd be nothing. Without Jim and Jen Good, you know, we wouldn't have anywhere to race, you know. Just being around everybody.
Corey, anything else?
I mean, that's part of my favorite part is too. We got a wide range of like experience in our class.
Yeah.
Like I'm at like race 18.
Yeah.
How many races do you reckon you've run? I mean,
yeah, I couldn't even.
Sucon's got a lot of races. They raced karts before that.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, they got them, and then we got new guys like me and Jared and Bobby Kutch, and Chase has been running.
Yeah.
How long has he been running? I don't know.
Yeah, he's been running a few years and doing well. He won a race when I threw the drive shaft down the front stretch.
Yep.
He got the win there.
I mean, we got a wide range of, you know, experience and different viewpoints on driving, but everybody seems to have
for the
same,
most part, everybody's
same
respectful
viewpoint
of each
is
other.
like, let's race it clean. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like some people may not. Some people like running low line. Some people like running
Yeah.
high line. It's
and that's
Me,
the
I'm
other
just
thing.
like-
You gotta be a searcher. You gotta be a searcher when you're out
I
there
finally
to
started
make your
doing
car do what you want it to do. Like, the last win, I was good in the second groove on both ends. A couple weeks ago, I was good in 1 and 2 down low,
Yeah.
and 3 and 4 in the second groove.
that. Okay.
And I'm a searcher to make my car work wherever, to make it faster.
Yeah, I found
and-
mine being good on the bottom in 1 and 2,
Yeah.
but 3 and 4 don't even try it. Like, that's how it's been recently for me. Like, yeah, 3 and 4 is just trouble down there on the bottom, but 1 and 2, I can find speed down there. And track, like I've told these guys, track's different. It's the same track every week, but track's different every
Oh,
week.
yeah.
It's depending
Absolutely. And
on what
that's-
the weather was, what the humidity is that day, and
And it depends what class is before your class,
Yeah.
how,
so I mean, you run the same track, but that's the fun about dirt track. You can run the same track every day.
Yeah.
It's not
yeah,
the same
it's
track.
not the same track. No.
Let's get to a couple general questions for you, Steve. We're here with Steve Mix, the number 85 car, which brings me to my next question. Number 85 and the significance of 85 to you. Is there any?
None.
Zero.
It was on the
No.
car when I bought it.
Really?
Yep.
Dude, I listened to an interview with Leonard Wood. He said that Wood Brothers always runs
Yeah,
21.
yeah.
He said he let him run 7 one time on his car because it was on there 3 times, and 3 times 7 is 21. He's like,
21.
other than that, we never would have done it.
Wow.
So the Wood Brothers and they're 21. That's it. And he said they did 7 one time because if they would put the number on there 4th time, I said no.
My goodness. So that there's zero significance, 85.
Zero.
Is there any number that has significance to you that maybe you'd want to put on your car at some point?
No, not at this point.
Now it's a little bit of that,
I feel like
yeah,
a complete
superstitious.
psychopath. yeah.
No, not at this point. I mean, that's I've grown into that number, I guess.
Well, yeah.
Any
I've
track in
grown into a
the
lot of things.
Yeah, I've grown out of a lot of things. I got a box of pants I can't wear anymore. Fat boy just rolling in there.
We've asked every driver so far if they could race any track in the world, whether it's dirt, concrete, street. Where would you want to race and why?
Definitely Eldora. That's another iconic
Another
track. I think
Popular. It's
a lot of
fast.
other
It's-
people think the same
It's
thing.
so
But yeah, it's so fast. I've been to that Dream a couple times. Prelude to the Dream when the NASCAR guy.
Yeah,
I mean, they put on a great show, and always wanted to race there. But I think that's about the only one.
Corey,
For
you're,
me,
you're
dirt
trying to get
track-wise.
the iRacing started.
Yeah.
Is this a guy that you'd want to face, even though he
On iRacing, yeah.
beats you up a little bit during the year?
Yeah.
Or do you want to break from him?
No. We hook on those, get some grappling hook and some
We-
iRacing and hook on those bumpers.
We could do that. We definitely have to shut the audio off.
You know what? You're just like every friend I ever had playing Xbox. Like, Corey, you can't have a microphone.
Yeah.
We don't
We'd have
feel
to
like we don't
take
feel
that
like,
microphone and
don't
throw
feel
it
like
right
getting
away.
a permanent ban from
They just mute you.
some 12-year-old running his lips. So I will find you, kid.
Yeah. And the cops are knocking on your door.
Yeah,
Yeah, it wouldn't be good.
Did you tell this kid you could find his family? Like, oh, he was running his lips. Okay.
Well, at least 12.
Yeah.
Oh, he is?
Okay, can't. He talked like a grown man. You know.
He's got some grown man problems now.
Yeah. Somebody should have told him not to talk like a man if he's 12 years old.
Yeah, put down your applesauce, son.
Yeah.
Steve, any advice for people that want to get into racing, or the ones that are younger, that are in racing right now, that aspire to bring home the checker like you do?
You got to get seat time. I mean, our sport is inexpensive. I mean, you will tear some stuff up, but all in all, it's inexpensive. And the seat time and talking to other drivers is, you got to have time in the seat to know what the car's doing.
So I've got 1 out of 2 down. I'm talking to a lot of drivers.
You are doing a
like-
lot of talking.
Yeah. Recently, I'm talking to a lot of drivers. But, the seat time thing. Yeah.
And that can be tough sometimes. You know what I mean? Because there is a lot of dedication to the sport, and you know, like there's especially now kids have a lot going on. Like we bust their chops a little bit because okay, you're gonna play video games, but they can go to college to play video games. They can they can do a lot of stuff.
Well, I mean, a lot of them NASCAR guys have really said that iRacing is so close that it actually does help now. Like
if you have the
something like that can be awesome if you can just.
Can we get the Goods Raceway track on the iRacing? Can we manage that?
Scan it. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, it would.
That would be. and I'd just be on there like, I'm coming for Steve next year.
Is it rain outs? They could you get on the iRacing and
there you go.
Points.
Everybody just goes back home.
Yeah,
I was
throws it
hoping
on.
everybody did that Tony Stewart game. Like we could all race on PlayStation on Saturdays. Like, just meet up on there.
We are out of time for this week. We had the awesome Steve Mix Jr. on, the Bandit 43, Steve Mix 85. Gentlemen, thank you for your time. We will see you next week. Steve, best of luck to you in everything, and thank you again for your service and all you do.
Oh, thank you, and I appreciate being here and all the help that I get throughout the year. My wife, her support, couldn't do it without her. So, and my dad, of course. We're out of pocket race team, man. No sponsors, no nothing. Which, you know. Let's be honest, I may not be the guy that you want representing your business at some point.
If I was you, I would actually be able to get sponsors because here's how I approach people. Like, hey, I ain't going to win nothing. I ain't going to guarantee you nothing.
Yeah.
If you want to throw some money at me, they're like, what? You're not going to win? Like, that probably not. It's most likely not going to happen. But you got this average 1.3 finish. You know, you can throw that out there. Like,
yeah, what's your favorite color? Checkered. Like, I asked Corey, he's like, blue. I was like, okay.
Green.
Yeah. Black flag.
Yeah. I've
not seen that one yet. That's good. That's good.
Gone. But yeah, I mean, I don't sell myself well. Like, yeah, I got average 5th place finish here. Like, what are you talking about? You can at least be like, hey, I'll throw your name out there.
Guaranteed checker.
Giving one of these victory speeches after the race.
Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for stopping by. If you want to sponsor Steve, get a hold of him. Steve, what's the best way to someone get a hold of you to help out?
Oh, just at the racetrack. But we're not looking for any. We're just having a good time and
some people like to sponsor a good time.
Well, we definitely know how to have a good time. that is well known.
That's the champ. That's the Bandit. I'm DJ. We'll see you next Sunday right here on In the Driver's Seat with Corey Renforth.